This time a year ago, I was at 152 followers. Fast forward a year, and I am officially at 3,700 followers.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then over the past year, how much traction have you gathered?
Nearing on 400,000 impressions.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
Just went along the lines of people want people. That's it. That's all that people want.
Personal branded content will perform 10 times better than brand content.
We said, listen, we need a story. We need someone to come down from outer space. Maybe they get lost. Something to bring around to get the conversation started.
It's like a company mascot.
He's formed into a whole persona, to be honest. I brought him to one event and then he just skyrocketed from there. Some people will be like, oh, yeah, I know who you are. Where's your alien friend? Sorry, Mom, I have made friends on the internet.
When it comes to personal branding, it's all about building trust and being memorable.
People end up following the CEO more than they follow the actual company.
Tim
100%.
Cook has more followers than Apple. Elon Musk has more followers than Tesla. Bill Gates has more followers than Microsoft. People don't want to buy from a humanless, faceless brand. They want to buy from another human being that they trust and know that they can rely on. What are the strategies you can take to build your personal brand in 2024?
If there's one piece of information that I got from the team was...
That's ridiculous. Welcome to the show, Bella.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm very excited to have you here today. I think you've been crushing it on LinkedIn for a little while now, over the past year that you've started posting content. And I think there's a lot of valuable lessons out there for anybody when it comes to whether it's starting their personal branding journey or just breaking down what are the strategies you can take to build your personal brand in 2024.
100%. Honestly, I mean, I didn't even start doing any sort of personal branding up until June of 2023. So I'm still learning as I go. All of this has just been a huge learning process, to be honest.
So I want to go back like a year ago today. You probably hit post on LinkedIn for the first time. Like, what was that feeling like when you first started approaching personal branding and putting yourself out there on LinkedIn?
So again, I'm not from the industry. I've never posted on LinkedIn before other than perhaps, oh, I'm starting a new job. And, that's as far as it goes.
The classic announcement post.
Exactly. And it's like these three little people all celebrating behind the scenes. And, that's about it. So this time a year ago, I was at 152 followers, half of which were either family or people from Midnight, to be entirely honest with you. And I clicked send, and then fast forward a year, and I am officially at 3,700 followers.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm very pleased and very excited. And a lot of it is now people from the industry. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is also just people from outside the industry in marketing, in social media, content creation, even just people from my area, which is really interesting.
So obviously it's not an overnight success. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of strategy that goes into that process of growth. So just going back to the start, when you first started publishing content, like what was your approach and strategy when it came to your putting content out on LinkedIn and putting together a content strategy?
So at first, to be quite honest, I've never really done any sort of marketing per se for a client before. So I was kind of just taking this as something that I could run with, using myself as my own client. And if there's one piece of information that I got from the team was A/B test it. Whatever you do, A/B test everything. And so I would post my face. I would post things on business dev, on marketing, on personal branding. And then I would just see what the people are resonating with the most, what garners the most engagement, the most impressions. And then that's basically just snowballed into what I do today, which is almost kind of the same thing, to be quite honest.
So from all that data that you have, you tested a lot of different content formats. What did you find? Like, what was resonating with your audience? What kind of posts resonated the most?
So not to sound cocky, but people love my face. People love my face. They love, sounds terrible to say, but they love videos. They love anything that has a human behind it, even if it's not me per se. If it's like a random TikTok style video of you and the team, mm-hmm. or even if it's Schmeez, just anything that's not super corporate, they like a lot.
Who's Schmeez?
So
Can you
Schmeez,
tell us a little bit more about that?
you have this guy on
Probably
your
show the camera
on your
close up.
mug. So really quickly, I'm gonna show this to the mic. Gonna show this to the camera. So this little guy here is Schmeez, and then there's a little Polaroid of me and Schmeez here. Fun fact that I sent to all of our clients for Christmas. So if you got this in the mail, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about Schmeez and how is this relevant to your personal branding journey?
So Schmeez is an alien. He is a latex 2 foot tall alien that we got off of a Halloween prop store. And originally, he was just a conversation piece that came up in an events meeting, because we'd been doing a lot of golf games for the industry prior to this with our event partner.
Yeah.
And we said, listen, we need a story. We need someone to come down from outer space. Maybe they get lost, just as like something to bring around to get the conversation started.
It's like a company mascot.
Exactly, a mascot. And so he's formed into a whole persona, to be honest. And I brought him to one event, and then he just skyrocketed from there to the point where I told my boss, I'm like, listen, I'm making him, I didn't ask, I just said, I'm making him a LinkedIn. Okay. He's like, okay. I'm like, he's going to need a job. And he's like, okay, what are you thinking? I'm like, can I give him intern? He's like, yeah. So now Schmeez the Alien is a full intern at Midnight Marketing with his own social platforms.
And an integral part of Bella's content strategy on LinkedIn.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. Some people, I'll get to events now, and some people will be like, oh, yeah, I know who you are. Where's your alien friend? They don't even bother saying my name. They know the alien, which is absolutely hilarious.
That's ridiculous.
He's more well known than I am.
But that's a great point when it comes to personal branding. It's all about building trust, and at the end of the day, being memorable. Like people recognize you because for the past year, you've been putting your face out there. You've been creating authentic content, putting yourself on the camera and talking to your audience. And people over time, they really feel like they know you. So
100%.
That when it comes to your role in business development, it makes that whole process so much easier to offer your services and help solve their problems because they feel like they already have this connection with you.
I mean, I posted something not too long ago, which was just a repost, to be honest, but I reposted it and it just went along the lines of people want people. That's it. That's all that people want. They want to feel like they have a connection to you. They want to feel the humanization behind the brand, because if it's just pictures and copy on a graphic, for example, that you're posting on LinkedIn, eventually people are going to get tired and they're going to be like, okay, well, why should I be giving you my services? Whereas having your face out there, it just automatically connects the bridge between you and your other people, because they want to be able to know that, okay, I can have an actual conversation with you and bring my problems to the table and they'll be solved, rather than who is the person behind this company page? What do they do? What do they look like? You automatically get rid of all of those concerns.
I think that's a great point. People don't want to buy from a humanless, faceless brand. They want to buy from another human being that they trust and know that they can rely on.
100%. There are so many campaigns coming out now that work so well because there's someone's face in it. Nike did one. They literally posted something 3 days ago, and it was a campaign titled "What If I Can?" or "What Can I Do?" or something along the lines of that. And it was this schoolgirl in her uniform at school, and someone kicks the ball to her, and they're like, do you want to play? And she's like, no, because she's never been given the chance to be able to play. And then it's just humanizing it by allowing this person to step into all of these sports and wearing the clothes and feeling the connection between the brand. And it's like, this is something that I'm capable of doing because I'm seeing a schoolgirl, I'm seeing a girl in this environment who is capable. So going based off of things like that, that's what allows people to want to reach out to you more.
And it's funny, a lot of the times, personal branded content will perform 10 times better than brand content.
Yes.
And I think that's a huge point that a lot of companies don't understand and don't miss and are missing out on, sorry.
Well, that's what I prefer the most, to be honest, is like, okay, if there is a company that, you're just posting from your company page, all right, that's fine. But I feel like I'm personally more willing to either follow them or look at their products more if there's a bit more personal branding behind it.
Yeah, it's
Not
way more
necessarily,
personalized.
yeah, not necessarily just like a human posting from the company page, but a human. I say human just because it's personal, like an actual person posting on a page associated to that as well. So
Human or alien, either of those
human
works.
or alien, we don't judge. This is a non-judgmental
As
space.
long as there's a face, it doesn't matter if that is human or extraterrestrial at this point.
100%, absolutely.
Okay, we talked a little bit about the breakdown of when you're starting out, test, and iterate, and find a format that works for you and use the data to kind of guide you on where to go with your content strategy. But can you tell us a little bit more about what have been some of your best performing posts, and why did they perform the best?
So, okay, so if you're on LinkedIn a lot, you'll obviously know there are two metrics that we look at the most. There's engagement, which is the likes, the comments, the repost, and then there's the impression, which is how many sets of eyes have been on your post at any given moment. And so when I'm looking at my content, I'm actually going to pull my phone up really quickly. Yeah, so pulling up my top performing posts in terms of impressions,
Yeah.
coming in at number 3 was actually a sponsored ad
Okay.
on my own post. So posting posting paid ads on a personal page looks less like an ad
Yeah.
than if you were to do it from your
From your
company
brand
page.
page. Yeah.
Which is why we tend to be quite honest, I think we've done it 3 times
Yeah.
on my personal LinkedIn, and it's worked really well because 2 out of the 3 are my top performing posts.
And the reach that you've had has been way more expanded than the reach from running the ad through the company page.
100%. So number 3 alone it has 10,518 impressions. Number 2, this one was just this was just literally my face tagging people. There was no ad spend put up behind it. It was completely organic.
Yeah.
It was T-10 weeks until we hit up OKC for Social Octane's 5th golf game of the season. So this is right before we introduced Schmeez.
Yeah.
That one had 10,655 impressions.
Wow.
And that was just me and one of our project managers, our faces on there.
Yep.
And it was great. Honestly, that in itself just did really well. And then number 1 is a recent video that we posted of Tim on a Digital Wallcatters podcast.
Yeah.
It was the right process plus time equals quality.
Yeah.
That one performed at 11,624 impressions.
Wow.
So that's just the amount of eyes that are physically being put onto those posts, whether it's organic or not.
And then over the past year, how much traction have you gathered just from your personal brand?
Just from my personal brand, in terms of impressions over the last year, we're nearing on 400,000 impressions.
Wow.
And I have to say in less than a year, because as of June 1st is when it'll be 100% a year that I've been posting on LinkedIn.
You have like a couple of weeks to hit 1 mil.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm going to try to double it from there.
Yeah.
And in terms of engagement, so this just goes to prove that actual branded content for your company and personal content do as equally well.
Yeah.
So in my top performing posts in engagements, my number 3 was basically just a picture of me and our moon in the background, introducing our return to the golf game season of 2024. That one had 64 engagements. This one was actually just really ridiculous. It's me dancing to the Macarena in front of my boss. It was a downtime during one of the events that we had, and I put my phone down and I looked at my boss. I'm like, sit there, just be on your phone and don't do anything. He's like, I just have to sit. I'm like, all you have to do is sit.
Deal.
So it was literally like when your boss says that your raise is performance based, so you perform. I performed the Macarena in front of a lot of people. It was very awkward. 73 engagements. And then most recently I started a little interview series just asking people in oil and gas, like, what advice would you give to people that wanted to get into the industry? What excites you about the industry? And quick fire questions. My first video got 77 engagements.
Wow.
There you go.
Something else that I personally like, some of the favorite posts I've seen from you is the ones where you kind of shared your personal journey when it comes to personal branding and, you know, the lessons you've learned throughout your journey. Because I think everybody has the opportunity to to post content that is just sharing light on whether it's, you know, pieces of content or a creator that you're inspired by, or the findings you've had from your recent posts and strategy when it comes to personal branding. So I think anybody has the opportunity to kind of take a leaf out of that book and just share your journey, because it's going to help accelerate the growth of your personal brand.
1,000%. My biggest piece of advice to anybody wanting to get into personal branding or who doesn't know where to start in terms of the content creation is just throughout the week, just scroll on LinkedIn or scroll on whichever platform you want to post on the most. Scroll through that platform and see what people are reacting to the most, what people are posting, what people want to see. A second part would be, if you're lucky enough to get to go to networking events, listen to what people are saying they want to see more of, and then just combine the two. And then A/B test it. So maybe it's posting a picture of your face on a Wednesday, something a little bit more serious on a Thursday, picture of your face on a Friday. Like, it could be either posting every day, every other day, at certain times. Just keep doing that until you figure out what your top performing posts are. In this case would be like random videos, my face, anything with a face works.
Is going to perform well. I want to ask you, Bella, I know a lot of people out there probably don't feel comfortable putting themselves in front of a camera and just speaking authentically and sharing their story. So how was that starting out, you know, putting yourself in front of the camera? How did you feel in that initial testing phase?
I mean, for me, to be quite honest with you, I'm an ex-theater kid, so putting myself in front of a camera, I had no qualms about. And I also used to do the same thing for a little like Monday prep video for the team.
Yeah.
So it was just like talking to everyone at work.
Yeah.
I just had to put that into perspective and not think that, oh, there's possibly a whole bunch of different people that are going to see my face and maybe make fun of me.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like turning that part off. It's like you're just talking to your friends. That's about it.
Yeah, it's like switching off that imposter syndrome. Like, nobody's really gonna pay attention or care, so just post.
Half the time they just want to see you do the Macarena, and that's all they want.
Yeah. So you just got back from a couple trips and events out in Houston. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about how, you know, obviously it's important to be showing up online and be visible online, but how do you bridge the gap between, you know, online connections to in-person connections, and how do you leverage that in your position?
I mean, I'm very grateful to be able to go to all of these events. One, so if you do have the opportunity to be able to go and someone says, we'll send you for free, take that opportunity. Because again, going back to the whole point of personal branding and the trust part of it all is the fact that people are going to want to see your face, and they're going to want to be able to meet you in person, to know that you're not just some AI bot behind a screen that doesn't resemble anything like you don't look anything like your profile picture. You don't sound like any of the posts that you're putting out there. So it's just really being able to show people, hey, I'm real. I can easily take care of you with my services. Let's get to talking. And then bridging that in between physically seeing the person and then connecting with them online. They're like, oh, okay, I already know who you are. You're good. I don't have to second guess you anymore.
So it makes the whole process so much easier that people already recognize you, and then you have that kind of like first awkward initial introduction is already out of the way.
Absolutely. And people aren't terrible. Not all of them are. The second that you create that connection with the person, 8 times out of 10, that person will most likely end up being a friend of yours. And the next time you see them at an event or a networking opportunity, they're going to be the first person that you run to.
Yeah.
And it's daunting, you know, getting to an event where you know nobody and everybody is already talking and they have their groups and you're just kind of standing in the corner like...
The social anxiety is just crippling.
I have anxiety, but social anxiety is the worst thing in the world. And so just being able to make friends with people, they'll introduce you to others, and before you know it, we're all connected.
You're best friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like, even if they're not ready to take your services, they might know someone that they can introduce you to as well. If you have that connection with them, it makes that whole process.
That has happened so often, especially in the last week. We just got back from OTC, which has at the very least 40 to 50,000 people. And current clients of ours that we have, we'd be chatting with them at our booth, and then a prospect comes by, and then they'd be like, oh, they do really good work at XYZ. So if it's a marketing client, they'll be like, they do great video work, they do great animation work, and they do no contracts.
Yeah.
And then the other person just looks over like, huh, tell me more. Here's my card. So just that in itself is really helpful.
Are they looking for a commission for this work? Or
Maybe. I mean,
just,
listen, there are some clients that I really like. I'll give them a commission, no problem.
Yeah. And, obviously you mentioned earlier you're new to the industry. And over the past year, you've kind of been on this learning journey. So could you tell us a little bit more about what's your experience been like so far entering the energy industry and kind of just getting your knowledge up to the speed within the industry?
So again, a lot of the knowledge that I'm gaining is from, hang on, I'm going to start that one over. So a lot of the knowledge that I'm gaining through this industry is actually through the people that I become friends with, because the second you tell them and you're honest and you're like, listen, I'm not from this industry, I don't know energy very well, what can you tell me? They are so willing to just open up to you and say, okay, this is a video that really helped me. This is understanding, I don't know, drilling tools for dummies. This is XYZ. And so being able to reach out to those people and say, listen, help. They are so gentle, so kind, and it's the first thing that they'll be willing to do. And also going to events. Going to events is not just good for connecting with people, it's good to learn about the actual industry as well.
Yeah, like see it.
See it in action.
Yeah, see it for real.
Because I'm never going to be, to my understanding, I'm never going to be put in a situation where I'm going to see what a downhole drilling tool looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So getting to see them in person or getting to meet the face behind the engineers, that is helpful. It is very, very helpful for my own knowledge, to be honest.
And how have you found just the people in the industry? And
so nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, so where we're from, so in Montreal, there's no oil and gas. So it's not like I can go and talk to these kinds of people, but for the people that do have a premonition on what oil and gas workers are like, you get the whole, big scary oil and gas. They're all angry. They're all this, they're all that. They're the nicest people I've possibly ever met. No joke. They're, in my mind, the way that that everyone looks at Canadians saying, oh, you're so sweet. Oil and gas is like Canada to me.
Really?
Very, very polite, very nice. 100%.
You fully become a Texan now.
I am an honorary Houstonian at this rate. I have my cowboy hat. I recently got cowboy boots for my birthday, and I wear them everywhere. Everywhere. They're my pride and joy.
Even the cowboy hat has become a symbol of your personal brand as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
My green cowboy hat. Fun fact, that cowboy hat is actually from the dollar store. And it is my prized possession. I have it hanging up at home now.
The value of it is, you can't put a dollar sign on the value of that.
No, it's first off, the green in itself, people, hang on. So the green in itself, people are able to correlate that back to me. The cowboy hat, exact same thing. And it also ties into our industry because a lot of our customers are out in Texas.
Yeah.
People just slowly start to pinpoint the dots, and it makes more sense.
I think that's a great point, because when it comes to your personal brand, you should try to stay consistent, and having these like little symbols that people can recognize you from, whether that's a little green cowboy hat or an alien,
a little Schmeez.
Yeah. Having those symbols that people can see and instantly recognize, oh, this is Bella. Like, she's showing up, popping up on my feed again.
I mean, consistency is really hard for the sole reason that you want to try at the beginning of your personal branding journey to be able to have so many things that people can correlate back to. But if it's harder for you to put out more, it'll be harder for them to realize more. Like Nike, that it's the little check. McDonald's, it's the little M. Yeah. And then in my case, it's the alien and the green cowboy hat. So give them 2 things, maximum 3, and it makes it much easier for people to recognize you.
What would your advice be for companies that are missing out on investing in personal brands and personal branded content?
Well, so that one in itself is a little difficult just because, as we mentioned earlier, not everybody wants to have their face out there.
Yeah.
But a great way to be able to, capitalize on having your traditional branding versus your personal branding, people end up following the CEO more than they follow the actual company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even
Like,
if the CEO,
look at Apple.
oh,
Tim
100%
Cook has more followers
than
than
Apple.
Apple.
Same thing with Elon Musk.
Elon Musk has more followers than Tesla.
Pretty sure Bill Gates has more followers as well.
Bill Gates has more followers than Microsoft.
Well, there we go. So imagine
Yeah.
if you just have the CEO posting behind the scenes videos or just pictures of your health and safety gear or whatever it is. It doesn't need to be your face.
Yeah.
As long as it's coming from you and your iPhone camera, I think that can do wonders.
People are always going to trust something that comes from a real human being way more than like a faceless corporation or brand.
Absolutely. Especially with nowadays with the internet. I mean, I guess you and I are probably the best people to say this. We grew up in a time where our parents are like, don't make friends with people on the internet. Be careful what you see on the internet. Sorry, Mom, I have made friends on the internet. But these people end up being such nice people once you just traverse that fear, I suppose. So being able to tell people, listen, I am this person on the internet. I'm also the same person in person.
You can trust me. I'm credible.
I promise you can trust me. I'm a good person. I swear.
So I think personal branding is all about humanizing your marketing at the end of the day. But when it comes to your approach, if you were going back in time and building your personal brand from scratch, what would your approach be or your advice be to somebody out there who's just starting posting online and they want some advice and guidance on how to approach their personal brand?
That's a great idea. It's a great question. No, that's a really good question. I would just say do your research on what other people are posting and what you want to see and combine those two together. Yeah. Because if you don't believe in what you're posting and if you don't like what you're posting, then no one else is going to.
It has to be authentic. Of course, like you don't want to build an audience that isn't engaged. So posting relevant content about your industry, but posting stuff that you're actually interested in.
Yeah, and don't post just to post. Like if you don't understand it, don't post it. Because if people are going to start asking you questions, you better be prepared.
Yeah.
And if you're not,
and you shouldn't be over reliant on tools like ChatGPT. You should.
If honestly, people need to start changing up the words because I'm seeing some specific ChatGPT words that you only find within the platform popping up in emails and messages, and I'm like, oh, that one hurts.
It's all like transformational journey
or something wizard.
Yeah,
it's always something wizard.
Cringe.
There's another one, but I'm gonna forget it. It's okay. I was very, very cringe.
Yeah.
There is one. It's gonna bother me. It's gonna really, really bother me if I don't figure out what it is.
There's so many. But what would your main 3 key pieces of advice be?
Don't be super reliant on ChatGPT. Do your research, and don't be afraid to just connect with people and ask them questions.
So Bella, I want to ask you, what's in store for Bella in the near future? What are you excited about in your journey, in your position, and within the industry that you're working in?
I'm really excited to just keep going to all these events and meeting new people and just spreading the word of Midnight. Yeah. Because people are starting to realize that there can be a marketing agency dedicated to the industry, and we do some remarkable work, honestly. So I'm excited to keep getting that out there, and I'm excited to build out the rest of the department. I'm hoping that by next year, whoever will be that will be joining me in this department, that they're going to be ready for all the chaos that's going to ensue, because I'm taking it all on and I want to share it with someone.
You're building out that pipeline.
Ooh, the pipeline. Ooh, she's steamy. Steamy pipeline. Especially after OTC.
Yeah.
It was really good.
No, I love it. I want to dive into a little rapid fire round before we finish off. So first question I've got for you is, what's your Roman Empire, Bella?
My Roman Empire, oh gosh, I hope that we can bring up a picture of this on screen, but it's that godforsaken Christmas tree that we've had in the office. So real quick, I started February 2023. Mm-hmm. It has been up since before February 2023, and we have not taken it down once. It is still there because our boss loves Christmas.
And why is this Christmas tree still in our office in April?
Because
May, sorry.
I'm scared that if I take it down, my boss will know.
Yeah.
Like Tim's just gonna he'll get a spidey sense.
He'll have a sixth sense that something is wrong.
Yeah, it's his Christmas tingle.
Yeah.
And be like, who took down the tree?
I've never met anybody that's as obsessed about Christmas as Tim.
Honestly, if Christmas needed better marketing, Tim would be the best person. Post about it mid-July,
Yeah.
every single time. It's almost Christmas.
He's building that awareness year round.
Tim, what do you mean it's almost Christmas? It's May.
It's literally 6 months.
God.
Oh. And who would your celebrity dinner table be? You got 4 guests. Who you choosing?
My 4 celebrity guests. Oh gosh. Pedro Pascal, 100%.
Valid.
Oh gosh. Olivia Cook from House of the Dragon.
I haven't watched that.
Oh, you should. House of the Dragon. And last but not least, my mother. She's a celebrity. She's a celebrity in her own world.
She's got to be a part of that
Oh my
conversation.
gosh, yeah. Oh, she's a hoot. She's great.
What does a hoot mean, Bella?
She's great.
Oh, okay. Which language is this?
I don't know. I use it.
Is this Canadian?
I don't know. I use it ironically and unironically all at once.
A hoot.
A hoot.
You learn something new every day.
Right? Like, Rory, this podcast has been a hoot, man.
Oh.
It's been great.
Where can people find you, Bella?
Almost anywhere. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on TikTok. I have a BizDev account for TikTok. You can find me at midnightmarketing.com. All of that is under my name, Bella Kelada-Khalil, Keladakhalil. That was a long one.
You might need to repeat that a couple of times.
Oh yeah, I'll leave it. We'll leave it in the comments somewhere down below.
And could you give our listeners your famous Bella sign off? I think we need to hear that before we finish up.
Of course,
this
hang
episode.
on. Get that out of me. All right.
Okay.
Until then, peace.